Автомат, автомат, автомат!
Russian soldiers push onto the battlefield. They use a BTR as cover and open fire on the Ukrainian positions. A Ukrainian soldier readies his RPG to strike back. The Russian BTR is now barely 10 meters away. Russian infantry pushes forward right behind it. A direct hit lands on the Russian vehicle, but the BTR keeps rolling. The Ukrainian position is now compromised and exposed. The Ukrainian soldier reloads and gets ready to fire another round.
Другой.
The second RPG round finally disables the Russian vehicle, but Russian infantry has already started advancing on foot. The Ukrainian soldier finds himself in dangerously close contact.
Автомат, автомат! Мой автомат дай!
The Ukrainian fighter takes out one Russian soldier, but this battle is far from over. The Russian commander orders his men to keep pressing the assault forward.
Автомат не утримує. Гранату, гранату, гранату! Еще! Еще! Еще!
Russian machine guns target the Ukrainian dugout.
Very serious losses. The commander keeps shouting to move forward. Several machine guns try to hit Ukrainian dugout.
Every passing minute makes the situation more desperate. Russian forces keep pushing forward, but the Ukrainian soldiers maintain constant pressure, not allowing a single Russian to get close to the dugout.
Автомат! Заряжайся, отстреливайся!
The Ukrainian soldier can hear Russian voices just meters away. He keeps laying down suppressive fire toward the Russian side without pause.
Дай автомат, дай автомат! Заряди РПГ карандашом!
The Russian forces outnumber the Ukrainian soldiers 10 to 1 as the firefight drags on. Incoming fire from the Russian side grows heavier by the second. The Ukrainian soldiers throw every available weapon into the fight to slow down the Russian advance.
Заряжай автоматом!
Russian soldiers shelter behind the BTR and spray the Ukrainian line with machine gun fire. The Ukrainian soldiers have zero margin for error now. Every explosive they have left in their arsenal goes into the fight. The Ukrainian soldier fires his RPG at the Russian positions, but just seconds later, a Russian RPG round slams into the ground right next to the Ukrainian dugout. The exchange of heavy weapons fire is getting more violent on both sides. At the worst possible moment, 2 Ukrainian rifles jam at once. The soldier struggles to reload while Russian bullets crack just over his head. The Ukrainian soldiers hold their position for now, but it is only a matter of time before their ammo runs dry.
А? Не знаю. Гранату. Там в углу американки.
The situation turns critical. The Ukrainian soldier realizes that without reinforcements, their line will collapse under the Russian pressure. He grabs the radio and contacts his commanders, urgently requesting backup.
Хакер, срочно нужна помощь, срочно! Вызывайте Алекса! За бугри стоять. Да, точно.
Алекс на связи, я выйти не могу.
The battlefield descends into total chaos. Ukrainian commanders order the men to hold at all costs. Reinforcements are already on their way. Ukrainian drone operators establish contact and relay live updates on Russian infantry movements, but the situation on the ground only gets worse.
Алекс, что ты наблюдаешь? Не наблюдаешь?
The drone team spots 10 Russian soldiers hiding in the brush. The Ukrainian soldier pleads with his officer for support. Right now, the only goal is to buy as much time as possible.
Сотку, Кора, быстро! Нет, в углу!
The Ukrainian soldiers scramble through every corner of the trench looking for leftover rounds. Then Russian mortars open up and begin pounding the dugout with heavy shells. By sheer luck, one crate of machine gun rounds turns up. The Ukrainian soldier loads the belt and moves to a corner position to lay down suppressive fire on the Russians. The Ukrainian soldiers cling to the dugout, yet nearly all their ammo is spent. They switch to lobbing VOG grenades at the Russians to inflict maximum damage.
Слушай, что по рации говорят.
All the Ukrainian soldiers can do is hold on and wait for reinforcements. Meanwhile, the volume of fire from the Russian side keeps climbing. Hundreds of rounds tear through the air above the dugout in seconds. Minute by minute, the Russian barrage grows more intense. One Ukrainian soldier tells his comrade to get on the radio and find out what command wants them to do next.
Ура, по рации спроси у Алекса, как дела и что делать дальше.
Non-stop Russian fire pins the Ukrainians down with no chance to shoot back. Then one of the Ukrainian soldiers has an idea. Launch Vogue grenades in a high arc straight up and over. The Ukrainian soldiers know that without help this position will fall to the Russians. They try reaching their commanders on the radio one more time.
А?
Квадрик, вы не подняли, не нашли? Смещайтесь, если нет у вас
Плюс. Алекс, что делать?
Under relentless Russian pressure, the Ukrainian soldier keeps calling headquarters, but the radio stays silent on the other end.
Алекс, что делать?
Плюс, видите на бэху? Улица, они едут на клопа,
The Ukrainian soldier tries to return fire, but the Russian forces vastly outnumber his small group. Every passing minute burns through what little ammo remains. He tries the radio again and again, trying to reach his commander. There is simply nowhere left for the Ukrainian soldiers to fall back to.
Я не шарю.
КамАЗ, даи на банан.
Быстрее, парни, быстрее! Алекс, что делать, Алекс, что делать? Уже все, что...
Not a single grenade remains in the Ukrainian dugout. Ammunition is virtually gone. But then, for the first time, the Ukrainian soldiers hear good news from their commander.
Сколько там?
Человек 8-10, плюс-минус 8-10.
Плюс.
Ukrainian reinforcements are on the way, though they will not arrive soon. The soldiers must keep holding the line against the Russians. With almost no rounds and 0 grenades, that task grows harder by the second.
Отстреливайся! Автомат!
One Ukrainian comrade reports he is completely out of ammo. The Russian forces could storm the dugout at any moment now. All the Ukrainian soldiers can do is hold on until reinforcements arrive. For now, short bursts of gunfire are exchanged back and forth between the two sides.
Посматривай, в ТР-ку. Да, я на приеме. Да в ТР-ку выглядим, посмотри, что происходит.
Смотри, Руся, если закончились гранаты, оттягивайтесь, оттягивайтесь. Алекс,
Принял плюс.
Наказ бригадира.
Принял плюс. Долго вас ждать? Ну, подкрепление. Что у меня здесь? Осколок?
Подкрепление выехало бэха, сейчас будет.
The Ukrainian soldiers receive an order from the brigade commander to withdraw, but the men refuse to leave and keep holding the line. The Russian forces have already taken severe casualties in this engagement. If fresh Ukrainian reinforcements arrive in time, the soldiers can counterattack and wipe out the remaining Russian assault group.
Повтори, повтори. Минус, минус, закончили гранаты, все позаканчивал.
The Ukrainian soldiers try to figure out a way forward. Retreating under this heavy Russian fire is simply not an option. Calling in friendly artillery risks, hitting their own dugout since the two sides are so close. The only way out of this situation is to keep on fighting and hold the line until Ukrainian reinforcements finally arrive.
Чуешь? Другой дай, который в углу, нет, в углу, вот там в углу есть короб. Там 2 короба было, дай 1.
Fortunately, one last crate of ammunition is found. The Russian forces still cannot break through the Ukrainian line, but the soldiers must stay sharp because this fight is far from finished.
Пожалуйста, они могут сейчас пойти, понимаешь?
After 15 minutes of brutal combat, the Russian soldiers finally decide to pull back. Smoke grenades go up as they drag their wounded away. Ukrainian drone operators confirm that Russian forces are beginning to withdraw.
Парни, пожалуйста, прошу вас. Нон-стоп, я хищник, выйди на связь. Стоп, нон-стоп, нон-стоп, я хищник, выйди на связь, пожалуйста. Что вы видите с квадрика? Что вы видите с квадрика?
Все нормально. Я очень доведите, пожалуйста, я в разрез на 12 от тебя, они сидят в кустах. В кустах за разрывом.
Принял,
The drone team reports several Russian soldiers still hiding in the tree line. One Ukrainian soldier steps out of cover and opens fire on them.
А что это за дым?
Scattered Russian shots still ring out, but the main Russian force has already pulled back. The Ukrainian soldiers radio their commander to ask what comes next.
Полячок на приеме. Моряк, у вас был сторонний прошибный квадрик, поднимайте его. Это рыжий, в разрезе стоит чья-то техника, она горит или нет? Нон-стоп, квадрик минус, он на тебя.
Нон-стоп, нон-стоп, хищник, что видите, что можете рассказать?
Плюс-плюс.
Нон-стоп, нон-стоп, я хищник, что можете рассказать,
Также сидят на срезе посадок, не двигаются в вашу сторону. Если будете явить, положите туда хуй.
Ukrainian Mavic drones move in closer to feed better intel to the soldiers on the ground. The Ukrainian fighter needs a precise fix on the remaining Russian positions and requests more details from the operators.
Хищник, я нон-стоп, ровно на 12 от вас, ровно на 12 от вас. Куда ты стоял с этих задоразок? Они там кучкой лежат.
Дозвольте, Матадор, будь ласка.
Со всего, чего хочешь.
Дай, Матадор. А ты 4 дай.
The Ukrainian soldier prepares to hit the Russian positions with a heavy launcher, but a sudden burst of Russian fire forces him back into cover.
Справа, хуять.
Seconds later, the Ukrainian soldier grabs the launcher and steadies himself. Braving a storm of Russian bullets, he steps out and fires a round straight at the Russian position. The heavy round slams into the front armor of the Russian BTR. Russian soldiers instantly return fire on the Ukrainian dugout. The Ukrainian fighter gets on the radio with the drone team for a fresh update on Russian positions.
Что там, рассказывайте.
Пока все по-старому, они лежат. Лежать за кустом. За кустом, как между нашей и пидором.
Понял, принял, плюс.
Руся, прям за кустом. В кусте там лежит человек 5. Кидайте туда ГПшек ПК со всего.
Плюс.
Drone operators say that several Russian soldiers were wounded. Ukrainian soldier decides to shoot VOG grenades vertically. This will allow him to stay in the dugout without exposing himself to unnecessary danger.
Твой автомат. Да вот, да нет. Где он лежит? Давай сюда.
Там сейчас около 10 голубей, там есть раненые. Давай.
Хакер, я набросал. Что говорят?
Over 20 grenades rain down around the Russian positions. The Ukrainian soldier has enough to keep this up for a while. He checks in with the drone crew for an updated read on where the Russian forces are sitting.
Да это хуйня. Ее. Это трофей, друг. Да. И правда я ее с АТ-4 уебал меня. Да. Я ж с РПГ ебать качался, по-сомалийски с РПГ, как Хакер, я хищник, выйди на связь срочно.
Прием.
Хакер, что скажешь? Туда улетело штук 30 вога в ихнюю посадку.
Ты закидывай, давай, продолжай.
Плюс.
Drone operators say to continue applying pressure on Russian positions. Ukrainian soldier grabs another box of grenades, and the VOG rain continues.
Что у меня под глазом болит?
But the supply drains fast. His Ukrainian comrade says just one Vogue round remains. Fortunately, the Russian soldiers have already abandoned their forward positions.
Не бачу, на дороге танчика нет, на дороге танчика не бачу.
Украина. Сказать, хуй нет. За 200. Вот тут обходил.
У вас такой ситуации вообще?
Я тоже, ты что думаешь, у меня каждый день такие ситуации? У меня понял, я так испугался. Я ему тупо вот так, тук-тук-тук, он, да ты ж...